Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today, me and Ryan are going to go through our predictions for the upcoming Premier League season, where each club will finish, and which team will surprise us this season. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to us, follow us on socials, and let us know your predictions in the comments below. So, Ryan, we'll start off in 20th, mate. Who's going to finish bottom of the league?
No real reason really, but I think West Brom. I think with all the teams above, I just think they're going to be the boring team this year.
Fair enough. I've gone for another newly promoted club. I'm going to go Fulham. I think it's similar to how they were a couple of seasons ago. I definitely have got enough experience. I think they possibly could have done with another season in the Championship. And I think it'll be similar to how Norwich were actually. I think they'll get the odd win, but I think they'll finish bottom. So let's go with 19th, mate.
Again, a tricky one because of all the other teams that are going to be above. But I think Crystal Palace are going to surprise us this year and go down. And I think 19th.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I've gone for West Brom. I don't think they've signed enough Premier League quality players, really. I think their attack force, I think it's more of a Championship attack force. You know, Hal Robson-Kanu, Charlie Austin, and the son Dean Garner from for West Ham, my team, which I'm gutted about. I think he'll have a good season, but yeah, I just don't think they've got enough quality throughout the squad. So I think they'll go straight back down. So let's finish off the relegation zone with 18th. Who's going to be the 13th to go down?
Well, it's going to be a tough one. I think the teams above that I'll mention in a minute, I think they've all obviously got potential to be 18th. I think Fulham. They also have, it's weird I say this, they've also got great potential, but I just don't think they will. I think it's going to be a parachute season for them. Everyone can remember the £100 million flop signings a couple of seasons ago. But they do look better under Scott Parker, but I just think, this isn't their season.
My team for 18th, I'm actually going to go with Aston Villa. I just don't think they've strengthened enough in defence and attack, which let them down last season. They've only signed Matty Cash to strengthen their defence. I don't think he's really going to be the answer for them. So, they've, at the time of recording, obviously before the season starts, they've still got Jack Grealish. They have to keep hold of him. But I think goalkeeping wise, I think that's going to be a problem with Tom Heaton injured. As I say, I haven't strengthened defence, which is a real problem, albeit improved after lockdown. But and centre forwards, I don't think there's any goals in their forwards really. So I think it'll be second season syndrome for Villa. I think they'll go down. So let's go with 17th, mate. I'll start this one. So I think it'll be Crystal Palace. I think they'll just stay up. I think they only scored 31 goals last season. They've signed Eze from QPR, but I think it's going to be a struggle for them to score goals. But I think with Roy Hodgson in charge, I believe they'll just stay up. So let's go with your 17th, mate.
My 17th is Aston Villa. Similar points to what you said, Bill, in terms of not having a great season. They were my surprise team last year.
They were.
Yeah, I was certainly wrong. They ended up fighting relegation, and they were, due to go down. But they did technically surprise me by staying up last minute. But yeah, I'd like to see them do better this season. I know there's rumours that they may sign Martinez, etc., and that could be a little bit of a game changer. And you never know; they might push forward and completely surprise us, Bill, and push for top 10. But no, I just think they'll just about stay up. But again, around the relegation zone, it's going to be so tough. So
especially as the transfer window's open till October. And you never know, especially deadline day, anything can happen, can't it? So
our opinions may completely change when the transfer come in.
Exactly, yeah. So in terms of 16th, who do you think will finish 16th?
So for 16th, I went for Brighton. No major reason other than I just think the other teams, will just have a bit more substance for them. I don't think they're going to fight for relegation so much, but I just see them as 16th this year.
Yeah, this is one we agree on, mate. I think Brighton 16th as well. I think Adam Lallana's a good sign-in, and I think be another season of possession football under Graham Potter. I think I was amazed at how all the players sort of adapted so quickly last season. I think they didn't lose as many games as the teams around them. So I think there'll be a similar thing this season. I don't think their squad's good enough at the moment to push for the top 10 or like mid-table obscurity. But I think they'll comfortably avoid relegation. So they can stay up this season and buy more players next summer. I think they could be in for a really good season the following season. So I think 16th for me. Right, let's go with 15th. I think Newcastle will finish 15th. On paper, they made some decent additions. Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, Jeff Hendrick on free from Burnley, Jamal Lewis from Norwich. I think they'll stay up. I think they were quite lucky at times last season with the XG was really against them in a lot of categories. But I think Steve Bruce, fair play to him, did a good job. But I think they'll stay up pretty comfortably this season.
Yeah, funny enough, they're my team for 15th as well, Newcastle. Very similar points to what you said. I think there's going to be a little bit of deflation. Obviously, they didn't get that takeover, did they? So, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. I mean, they may go the other way and fight relegation, but I just see them in that sort of position this year.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's go with 14th, mate.
Yeah, 14th. I went with Southampton. Did much better than what I expected last year, anyway. But I reckon they'll be too strong for relegation. But I don't see them finishing top 10 or surprising me any more than that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we're going into this section of the league where any of these teams could be in the top 10. It just could go down to a few points, can't it? So 14th, I've got my team, West Ham. We haven't made any real signings this summer. We've signed, Souček permanently, but apart from that, haven't signed anyone, which has been ridiculous, but that's for another video. Still got some underperforming players on the high wages, which could cost us. Selling, as I mentioned earlier, Grady Dinger, West Brom. I think pretty much all the fan base we're really gutted about, and we haven't reinvested yet, although there's still time. So still holes in our squad. The fullbacks, for example, never sent forward. We need possibly another central midfielder. But even so, we've still got a decent squad on paper. The likes of Declan Rice, who's still at the club. Sebastian Haller, Mikel Antonio, who's brilliant after lockdown. Lucas Fabianski is a very good goalkeeper. He's fully fit now. So I think even if we don't sign anyone, we've still got some good youngsters as well. So we shouldn't be anywhere near relegation. We shouldn't have been last season, but I think we'll be inconsistent really this season. So I think a steady season, 14 for me.
Yeah, good point. For 13th, I'm going with Burnley. Love Sam Dyche. I think he's a great manager. I think there were some negative things that he said about the club, not specifically about the club, but obviously with some decisions. So it depends on what's going on behind the scenes, really. So I don't see them being top 10, but I see them being too strong to fight relegation. So I see them as 13th.
Yeah, good point, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go Sheffield United for 13th. I don't see them having a second season syndrome, but I don't think they'll be as good as they were last season, where they were excellent for the first sort of 2/3 of the season. After lockdown, they were not so good. But I think a big miss would be Dean Henderson. He's back at Man United now. Signed Ramsdale from Bournemouth, where he's still a young keeper, but he's part of a relegated side that conceded a lot of goals. So I think they'll lose points for that reason. But yeah, I think they'll be comfortable relegation. Chris Wilder, excellent manager. So yeah, 13th for Sheffield United. Let's go 12th, mate.
Yeah, so for 12th, I've gone for Everton. Big expectations. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they, make top 10 or even, get in the top 6. They could do well. I mean, they've just signed Rodriguez as well, isn't he? Haven't they? And they've got a top manager. So, very good team. But I just think this is their year to kind of find a bit of a rhythm. And I think the teams above have just got a little bit more presence for me this year. So, again, could be completely wrong. They could make top 10. They could make top 6. Wouldn't be surprised. But I just have a feeling Everton 12th this year.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Well, 12th, I've gone Burnley. Similar to what you said, as long as Sean Dyche is there, I think they'll be absolutely fine. Haven't made any real signings of note, but I think they've got enough Premier League experience and know-how. and they've got goals in the team, pretty solid at the back. So Nick Pope's a good keeper if they can keep him as well. So yeah, and I'm expecting another solid season from them. So I think 12th for Burnley. Who's going to finish 11th?
For me, West Ham. Shocking couple of seasons. If you think obviously Pellegrini didn't deliver the goods, Moyes came in again and did it. In my opinion, did a good season. Did a good job keeping you up. When if they didn't get rid of Pellegrini, I think you would have gone down. I think you'll do better this season. I don't think you'll make top 10, but I'd like to think you'll sort of be 11th.
Well, I'd settle for 11th, mate, definitely. Right, well, I think Leeds will finish 11th. They're my surprise team for this season, and I think they'll surprise a few teams in the Premier League this season. They've got, Marcelo Bielsa, who's better than a lot of Premier League managers, and I think they've got a few players that can adapt to the Premier League. Calvin Phillips, who's recently capped by England. I think he will have a good season. Son Rodrigo, their record signing. If he can adapt, I think he'll score a few goals. They've got a few players that have played in the Premier League before but need to prove themselves. Adam Forshaw in midfield and Patrick Bamford as well. I think with their high intensity pressing style, I think they'll blow away a few teams. And I don't think they'll quite reach top 10, but still 11th, I think, would be a great season for them. Right, let's head into the top 10 now. Who's going to finish 10th?
Yeah, so I actually thought Leeds United will just about make 10th this year. They were potentially going to be one of my surprise teams. But yeah, I think they can do really well. First time back in years. It's going to be a sink or swim year. You never know. There's going to be a lot of expectation from the fans. They could parachute and go down. But I don't see that happening to them. I've got faith in them. I think with some of the the signings they've made as well, I believe they'll surprise us all and make top 10.
Yeah, good shout, mate. Southampton, I think, are going to finish 10th.
Yeah.
I think they finished 11th last season. I think they'll actually make a small improvement. I fancy Danny Ings to keep scoring for them. Got Ralph Hasenhüttl, a very good manager, I think. If they can improve their home form, I think they'll be in for a real good season. They only had the second worst home record last season, but the third best away record. So I think they're set up perfectly to get some away wins again. But if they can improve their form at St Mary's, I fancy them to just sneak in the top 10. Right, let's head to 9th.
I'm going with Sheffield United. Shocked me last year. I thought they would go down, but they did awesome. So I think within top 10 is on the cards for them this year. So 9th for Sheffield United.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go Everton. I think they made a couple of good signings on paper, and if they can play well, then I think they'll improve than last season. Obviously, Ancelotti in charge as well. I think Alan, James Rodriguez, Decore from Watford. I think 3 good signings on paper. So I think there's still holes in Everton's squad, but with Ancelotti in charge and those 3 players, I fancy them to improve a lot on last season. Right, let's go 8th.
I'm going for Wolves for 8th. Nuno, fantastic manager, been doing really well. I could also see them, pushing for top 6 or even top 4. I wouldn't be surprised. I think they can do that. But I just feel with teams like Leicester, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal in the mix, that's where they'll finish. Nuno's men, managed, they did really well in the Europa League last year. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they push for top 6 or top 4. But for me, I think with the other teams, like I said, 8th for Wolves this year.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. I think Wolves at 8th as well. They've signed Fabio Silva, who's one of these wonder kids, is highly rated. But I think, as you said, they can potentially finish high, especially as they're not actually in Europe this season. So they've got a free reign at the Premier League. Be interested to see who they play at wing back because they've sold Doherty to Tottenham. But still got goals in the side, very good defensively. So could get a hat trick of 7th places, or could finish 8th, like we've said, or even get a bit higher. So I think another good season for Wolves, I think. Right, let's head to 7th. So who's going to finish 7th?
I'm going for Tottenham.
Yeah.
clearly got a great manager. Still can do well, and again, they could make top four and do really. They've certainly potential to do that, but they're still adjusting to the new season, new stadium. Sorry. I just see the teams above this year doing slightly better, and I've got a bit more reason to push, for top four, etc. So for me, Tottenham 7th.
Right, well, for 7th, Ryan, I've gone for Leicester. They've sold Ben Chilwell to Chelsea, but even so, they've still got a really good squad. Brendan Rodgers, good manager. I just think the Europa League will impact their season this season. So I think they'll drop a couple of places. But if they go far in the Europa League, which I think they will, then I think it will impact their Premier League performance. So, but still 7th would be a good season for Leicester. Right, let's head into the top 6. So who's going to finish 6th?
So this is so tricky. Like I say, even the teams in the top 10, like I said, Wolves and Spurs below, they could all potentially make top 6, and even Everton, who I said are 12th, could make top 6. But for me, for 6th, I'm going for Leicester City. You've made some good points that the Europa League could hinder them a little bit, but I think they've got what it takes, obviously under Brendan Rodgers, to sort of give it a good push. They were sort of unlucky not making the Champions League place last season, so I think they're going to have that in their stride to push higher.
Yeah, fair enough. For 6th, I've gone with Tottenham. I think they've made a couple of astute signings. Doherty, as I mentioned, from Wolves, and Højbjerg from Southampton. I think there's still a couple of places they need to sort out, really, which they might do before the window shuts. Possibly could do another centre half. Possibly another centre forward to support Harry Kane. It'd be Mourinho's first full season, so be interested to see how he changes things, or how he has changed things over the summer. I just think I can't see them finishing in the top 4, so I'll go 6th with them. Right, let's go. Let's head into 5th. So who's going to finish 5th?
For me, it's Chelsea. Certainly building under Frank Lampard. They'll be pushing for top 4. Wouldn't be surprised if they get 4th or 3rd. But they're signing headliners of their own in Werner, Ziyech. Great sort of front line. And obviously they've got the American guy as well.
Pulisic.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be doing really well. So they could finish in the top 4. But for me, I just think they'll just be shy of it and finish 5th.
Yeah, fair enough. 5th, I'm going to go with your team, Ryan, Arsenal. I think, getting Willian on the free, I think could potentially be an astute signing. Getting Danny Ceballos on loan again, I think he was really good towards the end of the season. Obviously got the FA Cup win, not long ago. So, and I think, Arteta's first full season, I think we're going to see some real shoots of progression under him, like we have already. So I don't think they'll quite make top 4, but I think 5th is still an improvement on 8th from last season. So we've said good things from Arsenal this season. Right, let's head into the top 4. So who's going to finish 4th?
So I'm going to be very biased, and these, it's going to be my surprise team as well. But Arsenal. Again, I think you've made some good points there, Bill. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished 5th or 6th. But I think it's a massive rebuild for Arsenal. Arteta has done wonders in such a short spell for the club. Winning the FA Cup, the Community Shield in the same month, beating massive sides like City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and some additional signings as well, like Gabriel at the back. Willian, who I agree with you about first, I thought, was that going to be a silly signing? But I think I trust Arteta's judgment, and he's obviously going to adjust his position slightly. And I think he might just surprise us this year and fit in well. So I think we're going to, like I say, if we finish 5th or 6th, that could still be a good season for Arsenal because we are rebuilding. But I think they'll surprise us top 4 or maybe even higher. So go for it.
Yeah, we'll see how they go, mate. Well, I think for 4th, I'm going to go with Man United. I don't think there's a huge amount between them and Chelsea. And there wasn't last season. I think it'd be the same this season. So they've signed Van der Beek. I think he'll fit in well there. I still think they need a couple more players, which, again, they might do before the window shuts. I think they'll finish top 4 comfortably. I think I don't think they'll quite challenge for the league. I think they need another season in the Champions League for that to happen. But, you never know. There might be dark horses, especially as Bruno. It's his first full season. Pogba will start the season. Yeah, I think they've got enough about them to possibly challenge. I think it might be season too early though. But still fourth, I think, will be good progress for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Right, let's go with third, mate.
So Man United are my team in third place. Again, good signings. Fernandes in January. And they'll hope that with that fine 13-match unbeaten run to end the 2019-20 season, it gives them a good sort of boost for next season, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, third, I've gone with Chelsea. I think they will improve on last season. Obviously the window they've had, I think on paper has been excellent from them. Werner Ziyech, as you mentioned, Chilwell, Sarr, Thiago Silva. Saw in the Champions League final how good a performance he put in there. I think if he can get one more good season out of him, that will help their defence because it's a bit leaky. And Kai Havertz as well by Leverkusen. So I think the only problem Lampard's got is a goalkeeping situation. Still got problems there. So if they can manage to get a goalkeeper before the window, then you never know. They might be outsiders for a title challenge. But I think with Kepa in goal, I don't think they're quite there enough to challenge for the league at the moment. But I think if all those players can come off, especially Werner with his goal scoring record, one of the best forwards in Europe, I think they come in for a really good season. So I'll just go with third for Chelsea. Right, let's go with the top two then. So who's going to finish runners up?
So it's going to be between these two teams. I wouldn't be surprised if my runners up will win the title. You never know. It's going to be such a tense season. I'm looking forward to it. I think Liverpool. Again, I could be completely wrong. Winning the title with a 23 sort of point difference at first, is great. It's going to give them a good sort of head start for this season. But it could be the second season blues. Have they got what it takes to do it again? It's going to be a bit like the old Man United-Arsenal rivalry between the end of the 1990s, early 2000s, where you just don't know. Any of the teams can win it, but I think Liverpool will just miss out this season.
Yeah, no, good point, mate. I'm going to go opposite to you. I think Man City to finish second again. I think the signing Nathan Ake is a good signing, but whether he'll have that effect that Van Dijk has had at Liverpool, I doubt that personally. And will him and Laporte both play in the same team? They're both left-footed, so it'd be interesting to see how that works. And obviously David Silva's left, and you'd expect Phil Foden to play a lot more games, but big shoes to fill. I think it'd be close between Liverpool and City. There was 18-point gap last season, but I don't think that sums up how close the squads are. You look at the managers, the players, very, very similar. So I just think City will just come up short. I think defensively they're not quite as good as Liverpool, albeit it's still good defence in City, but just come up short, I think. So I think City for second. So, I'll finish off who I think is going to win the league. So I think Liverpool will win the league again. I think the momentum they had from last season, I think they'll carry on. The squad's got an excellent squad. Jurgen Klopp, when he won the title with Dortmund, he backed out the following season, and I think he'll do it again this season as well. So obviously, you think City are going to win the league?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said, Bill. I would not be surprised at all if Liverpool win the league. I think they've got all it takes. It's going to be so tight this season, but I think revenge is going to be sort of in City's mind, isn't it? Pep Guardiola's going to come back. I don't know how long he's going to stay at City for, but I know he wants another title. Probably wants the Champions League. That's probably what he's clinging on to. So I just think they're going to give it everything, and obviously Laporte's going to be back as well, isn't he? So there's other bits and pieces that they've got in their arsenal to challenge for the title this season.
All right, nice one. Well, thanks for that, Ryan. Let's see how we get on in our predictions for this season. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to our channel, smash that subscribe button, follow us on the socials, and let us know your Premier League predictions in the comments below. It'd be great to read those. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.